Kannada Koota is honored to have amongst us one of the most prominent and respected ladies of Karnataka, our chief guest for today, Mrs. SudhaMurthy. We also have amongst us His Excellency the Ambassador, Mr. Ganapati and Mrs. Ganapati. We shall start the day's events with an invocatory dance. Under the able guidance of Guru Rangashri and Kinkini, disciples Ashrit Mallur, Abhijit Mallur, Saujanya Srinivasan and Nagratna Aital present the traditional Pushpanjali and Ganesh Stuti. They seek an auspicious beginning, asking blessings from the Almighty, the mentors, and the august audience. They move to perform a verse in praise of the Lord of Dance, Natraja. So without much ado, let us begin with the invocatory dance.
Tadhim
dancers to lead the guests to light the lamp for a good beginning. Atithi Devo Bhava. As our Atithis, Dr. SudhaMurthy and Mrs. Uma Ganapati, led by Mrs. Vasanti Shetty and Dr. Lata Bhatt, light the lamp, we have an act invocation from the Upanishad. Which states that lead us from falsehood to truth, lead us from darkness to light. Mrs. SudhaMurthy and our main sponsor for today, Mr. Ahmed Al Saleh, to the dais. I would now request the kids of Kannada Koota to present bouquets to our guests. I would now like to request Mr. Sudhakar Shetty, President of Kuwait Kannada Koota, to kindly deliver the welcome address.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Kuwait Kannada Koota is delighted to welcome you all for this occasion. To give you a brief introduction of Kuwait Kannada Koota, it is socio-cultural association striving hard to keep alive the rich cultural heritage of Karnataka amongst the Kannadigas here in Kuwait for the last 22 years. Apart from social and cultural activities, Kuwait Kannada Koota was active in championing the cause of charity. We strongly believe that privilege in the society must support the less fortunate. On that lines, Kuwait Kannada Koota has ventured into a mega charity project which will be completed in the year 2009 because it happens to be our silver jubilee year. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our Honorable Ambassador of India to the state of Kuwait, His Excellency Mr. M. Ganapati and Mrs. Ganapati. Your Excellency, your presence has always been a source of inspiration to us, which you must have realized during the Pakistan cricket match at Ahmadi. It is indeed a great honor and privilege upon me and Kuwait Kannada Koota to welcome, I do not know how to say, the distinguished guests of this morning, Padma Shri, Mrs. SudhaMurthy. Madam, we wanted you to grace the Suvarna Mahotsava celebration last year, but nevertheless, we are equally thrilled to have you here this morning. And give you a good news based on the discussions yesterday with Mrs. Murthy. You will be fortunate, we all will be fortunate if things work out to have in the near future with us Mrs. Murthy along with Mr. Narayan Murthy. I would like to extend my hearty welcome to Mr. Ahmad Al Saleh, Chairman and Managing Director of Kuwait Computer Services Company, who is the main sponsor today. Mr. Ahmad Saleh is not only from the corporate IT sector, but also his company is involved in philanthropic activities. It is only sheer coincidence that it is in parallel with Infosys. I would like to extend this welcome to all our co-sponsors who have been great support to us in all our endeavors. And also, I would like to extend this welcome to all the 5 Indian professional associations who readily agreed to participate in this event. Lastly, I would like to welcome every one of you who is here. Hope you will enjoy the morning's proceedings. Thank you. Jai Hind!
Thank you, Mr. Sudhakar Shetty. I now call upon stage and request Dr. Amir, Secretary of Indian Doctors Forum, to address the gathering, please.
Honorable Ambassador of India, His Excellency Mr. Ganapati, our distinguished Chief Guest, Padma Shri Dr. SudhaMurthy, Mr. Ahmed Saleh, the President and Vice President of Kuwait, Kannada, Koota, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. A few months back, I received an email with the title Inspiration, sent by my very close friend, Mr. Rishikant Singh. The mail contained an article written by Dr. SudhaMurthy. Her early experience, she had just graduated from the engineering college and she saw an ad put up by Tata's requesting or providing job opportunity, but only for males. Dr. SudhaMurthy on a postcard wrote directly to the then chairman, Sir Ratan Tata, against the discrimination in this particular ad. She was called for the interview, she was interviewed, and she finally did land up with a job. So the purpose of recounting this incident is, when I read that mail, it really inspired me. I never ever dreamt that I would be meeting such an illustrious person and I would be sharing the same dice with such a person. It's indeed a very big privilege. The main point in that mail, what was conveyed in the mail, is the attitude. Grit, determination, hard work, and the attitude. Attitude is what helps us if we are determined to obtain or achieve our objective. And Dr. SudhaMurthy is a living example of that. Indian Doctors Forum is indeed very privileged to be invited over here and to be accorded this opportunity to rendering felicitation for such a great personality. Padma Shri Dr. SudhaMurthy is a multifaceted personality. Her contributions and the contributions on Infosys in putting forward India right up front in the field of information technology is well known and well appreciated. Indian Doctors Forum salutes you, madam. With these few words, I would like to thank the organizers Kuwait Kannada Koota for having given this opportunity for IDF to present this felicitation speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Amir. May I now request Mr. Jagdish Joshi, Chairman of Chartered Accounts of India, Kuwait Chapter, to address the gathering, please.
नमस्कार, सुप्रभात। भारतीय परंपराओं का निर्वहन करते हुए मैं श्री गणेशाय नमः की तर्ज पर इस कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करना चाहूँगा। यह हमारा सौभाग्य है कि महामहिम भारतीय राजदूतावास श्री गणपति जी हमारे अभिवादन में सबसे पहले आते हैं। इस तरह हमारे हर कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ गणपति की वंदना से हो जाता है। मैं महामहिम का आदेश लेते हुए अतिथि देवो भव की तर्ज पर सुश्री पद्मश्री श्रीमती सुधामूर्ति का अभिवादन करना चाहूंगा। सुधाकर जी का आदेश था कि मैं चंद शब्दों में ही बखान करूं, इसलिए कुछ चंद शब्द आप लोगों के लिए मैडम के स्वागत में। सुस्वागतम, सुस्वागतम, सुस्वागतम। कुवैत में बसे सभी भारतीयों का आपको विनम्र अभिनंदन। कुवैत कन्नड़ परिवार के आभारी हैं हम। कुवैत कन्नड़ परिवार के आभारी हैं हम, जिन्होंने करवा दिया हमें आपका साक्षात दर्शन। धन्यवाद सुधाकर जी, यह अवसर जो आपने हमें प्रदान किया है। बहुत विषम है, बहुत विषम है, बड़ा कठिन है इस तेजस्विनी का कुछ शब्दों में करना वर्णन। बहुत कठिन है, बहुत विषम है, कुछ शब्दों में करना वर्णित। एक शिक्षिका का जिसने की लिख लिख कर भिन्न भाषाओं में कर दी हैं जनहित में अनेकों पुस्तकें समर्पण। बहुत कठिन है, बहुत विषम है एक शिक्षिका का व्यक्तित्व वर्णन, जिसने कि लिख कर विभिन्न भाषाओं में कर दी है जनहित में अनेकों पुस्तकें समर्पण। यह लेखिका ही नहीं, एक शिक्षिका भी है, और शिक्षिका भी नहीं, एक मुहंदिसा भी है। आपको यहां मालूम है मुहंदिसा क्या होता है? एक ऐसी मुहंदिसा जिन्होंने दिखा दिया था आईना भारत के लौह सम्राट को। अभी मेरे मित्र डॉक्टर अमीर ने बताया था, एक ऐसी मुहंदिसा जिन्होंने दिखा दिया था आईना भारत के लौह सम्राट को कि यह कोमलांगिना लौह से भी अधिक मजबूत है, असीमित आत्मविश्वास से परिपक्व है ये कोमलांगना। बस यही इल्तिजा है, यही इल्तिजा है, पा सके हम सब कुछ ज्ञान के कण। इल्तिजा यही है, पुनः आए कुवैत में शीघ्र, पुनः आए कुवैत में शीघ्र, और उन्हें भी साथ लाएं। पुनः आए कुवैत में शीघ्र और उन्हें भी साथ में लाएं, जिन्होंने आपको अपना हाथ तब दिया था जब वो बेरोजगार थे। बेरोजगार नवयुवक को अपनाना, बेरोजगार नवयुवक को अपनाना, यह तो हो सकता है परिजनों का फैसला। बेरोजगार नवयुवक को अपनाना, यह तो हो सकता है परिजनों का फैसला, किंतु उसी बेरोजगार को प्रोत्साहित कर दिया एक नए इतिहास का मंचन। किंतु उसी बेरोजगार को प्रोत्साहित कर दिया एक नए इतिहास का मंजन। आज वही बेरोजगार असंख्यों को दे रहा है रोजगार। आज वही बेरोजगार असंख्यों को दे रहा है रोजगार। यह तो निश्चित है, यह तो निश्चित है कि उस $1000 का कमाल, यह तो निश्चित है उस $1000 का कमाल। ऐसा मैंने पढ़ा था कि श्रीमती मूर्ति ने 10,000 रुपये दिए थे, और वो 10,000 रुपये उस समय डॉलर के रेट के ऊपर 1,000 रुपये के बराबर थे। यह तो निश्चित है कि उस $1000 का यह कमाल, और आज विश्व में आलोकित है यह परिवार। शिक्षिका हैं आप, लेखिका हैं आप, मुहंदिसा हैं आप, दानी हैं आप, दानवीर हैं आप, और क्या क्या हैं आप, मैं व्यक्त नहीं कर सकता। महादेवी हैं आप, नमन है, नमन है। और पुनः कुवैत में आपका स्वागत है, आपका स्वागत है, आपका स्वागत है।
Thank you, Mr. Joshi. That was invigorating. I would now like to request Dr. Sudhir Valvekar, Treasurer of Indian Dentists Association, to address the gathering, please.
Morning. His Excellency, Mr. Ganpati, our chief guest, SudhaMurthy, and friends. It is my proud privilege that Kannada Koota has invited us and included us in this gathering. Actually, I would like to extend my wishes to Kannada Koota for inviting SudhaMurthy and bringing her to Kuwait, and we would like to listen to her. And here I would like to tell you that our association in Kuwait is going to do a checkup for the school children for their problem of dental caries, and which is a very important problem to be taken care of. Dental caries is a disease which affects the children, and the teeth are affected because of the taking of sweets, and this problem we are going to solve this year. This is our aim. And at the same time we are coming up with the dental directory, which will include all the dental diseases, and this directory is aimed for the common person in Kuwait who will get to read about the dental diseases and get rid of their dental problems. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Valvekar. I call upon stage and request Mr. Ramani Abdul Razak, President of the Institution of Engineers, India, Kuwait chapter, to address the gathering, please.
Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Respected His Excellency, Ambassador of India, Shri today's chief guest, Padma Shri Dr. SudhaMurthy, today's special guest, Mr. Ahmed Saleh, the executive members of the Kannada Koota, ladies and gentlemen, and little children. In fact, we are honored to be among us a lady who is active in benevolent work. The benevolent work which she has taken is under name of Infosys. Infosys as a software company does not need any introduction. I hope the name she has adopted to do her foundation work, to do her philanthropist and benevolent work, will definitely make her a great name and make her to elevate to that extent which Infosys has already reached. I wish her presence will inspire every one of us to do some contributory work or the volunteer work or the benevolent work, such which she has taken for promotion of medicine and education and for the benefit of downtrodden people. I wish you good luck. I hope your foundation will increase and reach to the level which your husband has taken in the software industry, the India on the top of the level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul Razak. May I please request Mr. Ahmed Al Saleh, Managing Director of Kuwait Computer Services, the main sponsors for the day's event, to address the gathering, please.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to share my thoughts and to give thanks to Madam SudhaMurthy for visiting us today and showing us all and sharing her thoughts on philanthropy, as we all know how important giving is in today's society. This is a subject I hold dear to my heart. My mother, Fawzia Sultan, is the strength behind my family's giving. Unfortunately, she's not here to share her experience of being a woman and establishing a school in a male-dominated society like Kuwait. She passed on January 2nd, 1986. Her memory lives through her children and Fawzek Educational Company. Fawzek Educational Company was established in 1996 as the first non-profit closed shareholding company that focuses on education and special needs within the Kuwaiti society. It's the holding company for Al Bayan Bilingual School, Fawzia Sultan International School, and Fawzia Sultan Rehabilitation Clinic. Each individual entity was created based on a need my mother felt Kuwait and the government was not addressing, according to her individual expectations. Bayan Bilingual School was established in 1976. I was born in 1976, just for your information. To find a solution for her kids' education needs. She wanted a school that was strong in Arabic and English, and thankfully her vision has been answered, as I think we're one of the top schools in Kuwait now. Fawzia Sultan International School was founded in 1991. All of you know that's the year after the invasion of Kuwait. It was created to address the special needs of students that are learning disabled. We realized that post the war environment, there would be a lot of mental and psychological trauma and a lot of problems that would basically impair students' learnings. So this school addresses the need specifically for students that basically have sort of been left behind or have had difficulty in comprehending the normal schoolwork. And it focuses specifically on getting them back to speed in order to complete their education system, move on to an actual university degree. The school was supported by the government of Kuwait, as every Kuwaiti that is accepted is funded by our kind government. Fawzia Sultan Rehabilitation Clinic was recently created, I think it's only about 6 months old, to address the need for high-quality physical therapy. The Ministry of Health does not have adequate support services for physical therapy in Kuwait. I think all of you, Doctors Association might agree with me. We took it on our shoulders to provide it for them. As our financial resources grow, we grow as well in the implementation of ideas that better serve our Kuwaiti community. India and Kuwait have a long history together. I'm here to learn more from all of you on how we can serve the Indian community in Kuwait better. I'd like to thank you. I would like to thank you again for allowing me the privilege to share my thoughts, and I have one special request from Mrs. Murthy. I would like to personally invite Mr. Nayan Murthy to come and visit us in Kuwait, as I'm sure we can find even more opportunities to make India and Kuwait relations much closer. Our respect for India's heritage and history is second to none. I thank you for your time.
I would now like to request our distinguished guest, Padma Shri Dr. SudhaMurthy, to please hand over mementos to all the members of Kuwait Kannada Koota Executive Committee for the year 2006. Firstly, I call upon stage President of Kuwait Kannada Koota 2006, Dr. Vivek B. Vani, to come and please come to the stage and collect the memento from Mrs. SudhaMurthy. I now call upon stage the Vice President of Kuwait Kannada Koota 2006, Dr. Surendra Nayak, and request him to collect the memento. May I now request Secretary of Kuwait Kannada Koota 2006, Dr. Divakar, to please come to the stage and collect the memento. Nextly, I would like to request Treasurer of Kuwait Kannada Koota 2006, Mr. Sudhir Shenoy, to collect the memento, please. Thank you, Mrs. Murthy, for having done the honors. All the members of Kuwait Kannada Koota would like to wholeheartedly thank once again the members of the 2006 Executive Committee for the excellent work done by them throughout the year of 2006. May I now request our Honorable Ambassador of India to Kuwait, His Excellency Mr. Ganapathy, to kindly address the gathering.
Namaskar, good morning to everybody. Padma Shri Dr. Mrs. SudhaMurthy, Mr. Sudhakar Shetty, the President of the Kuwait Kannada Sangha and the executive members of the Sangha, Mr. Ahmad Saleh, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a great honor and privilege to be present today morning to be with a remarkable personality from India. Of course, following some preceding speeches like those made by Dr. Amir Ahmad or Mahakavi Mahalekhakhar Jagdish Joshi, Sudhir Vavlekar, and Dr. Rumani Abdul Razak, it's always a hard act to follow. I would, of course, first of all like to congratulate the Kuwait Kannada Koota's new office bearers
I would like to wish them all the very best and also congratulate the outgoing office bearers. And indeed, it's a privilege for me to participate in the first formal function of the Kuwait Kannada Koota this year. To have a cricketer leading the association is always a dangerous thing because he always harks upon Pakistan-India matches and things like that. But I think here there's a parallel because following these wonderful speakers, I have perhaps been run out of ideas. But more importantly, I have been caught stumped and bold by this wonderful and remarkable lady who has come all the way from India to meet us and address us today afternoon. Of course, I've had the privilege of meeting Mr. SudhaMurthy a couple of times in Sydney, where I was posted just before coming to Australia. And it was indeed unforgettable moments in meeting him and talking to him. And of course, when you would have recently seen in the BBC, Peshaw's People, when Michael Peshawar had interviewed Mr. SudhaMurthy, and not long ago CNN carried an interview with him, he always talks very fondly of the contribution in his life made by Dr. Mr. SudhaMurthy. Dr. Amir Ahmed mentioned the article which Rishi had sent him, inspiration. Of course, inspiration is the right word, because it is a contradiction in terms when you look at the event which Dr. Amir mentioned, because we in India worship Shakti as the all-powerful. But when it comes to gender discrimination, we practice it the most. I think what is now happening is that gender discrimination barrier is coming down, and that is where we have leaders in the field like Dr. SudhaMurthy. I would say when you have a flag bearer like you, ma'am, I'm sure the troops follow automatically. And that is where the troops would contribute to the single noble cause which you have made your own. Everyone knows, of course, Infosys Technologies, but the Infosys Foundation has been doing a yeoman job among the people, be it in the field of education or charity or making the lot of the poorer ones better. I think they all say charity begins at home, but when we, from home, are able to share what we have with those who don't have and make the lot of those who don't have better, if we can spread a smile across the face of those who cannot smile and wipe a tear where we can, I think that is what would make us wonderful human beings, and maybe we will be able to sleep that night in peace. And today, when we see India in the cusp of remarkable economic growth, and when we see the corporate world in India doing wonderfully, and corporate governance being able to carry the flag of India to Everest heights, it is philanthropy which moves from the corporate world to raise the lot of those who in India have not been able to see the real India. That is where wonderful activities and wonderful thoughts beckon all of us. As we, of course, see this remarkable lady through her remarkable activities, I think Kuwait today can say rightly that Holi has come 48 hours in advance. While wishing all of you happy Holi, because Holi is a colorful festival, and of course I can see all that in my forehead. When I walked in, I saw a lot of tikas of different colors being marked on my forehead. I'm sure philanthropy in corporate governance, as would be adumbrated by Dr. Murthy, would be a thought-provoking address to us. Of course, her visit is a whirlwind visit, and yesterday we also saw bits of it through the dust storm. And as it leaves fine particles, I'm sure your thoughts would permeate all of us and will resonate in our minds as to what philanthropy in corporate governance is all about. May I also add to the warm words of welcome which have been addressed to all of you, to you by all those previous speakers, and may your visit to Kuwait be remarkable. And may I also add the same thought that we hope to see Mr. SudhaMurthy and you together here. Many say, behind every successful man, there's a successful lady. I would change that. I would never say behind. I would say with every successful man, there is a very successful lady. Because it is the with moving together is far more important. Thank you very much for having us today morning. And I'm sure your visit here would be very warm very welcome. And thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you. And thanks to Kannada Koota for making it possible.
Thank you, Mr. Ganpati. I now call upon stage Mr. Prashant Shetty, Treasurer, Kuwait Kannada Koota, to please introduce our distinguished guest, Mrs. SudhaMurthy.
Honorable guest, His Excellency Mr. Ganapati, Chief Guest of today's program, Madam Padma Shri SudhaMurthy, Senior Member of Indian Community, Kuwait, Office Bearers of various Indian associations, Kannada Koota members, children, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great privilege to honor to Mrs. Murthy to his august audience. It is a great privilege. Mrs. SudhaMurthy, wife of Narayan Murthy, who is a mentor, founder of Infosys, has carved a niche for herself in India because of multifaceted personality. She is a great philanthropist, successful writer in Kannada and English. She is a highly popular computer engineer teacher and great humanist. She was a brilliant student throughout her career and obtained M.Tech degree in a computer science from various prestigious Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. She has started her career as the first woman engineer to work in shop floor of a telco in Pune. She landed in this job after challenging Mr. J.R.D. Tata himself through a letter for gender bias in inviting only a man for these candidates for an interview in a telco. Such a qualities of independence, yearning for a justice, and empathy for a less fortunate have guided her throughout her life and have brought her helm of affairs in Infosys Foundation, established by Infosys Technology in 1996. The Infosys Foundation aims to create opportunity to work towards a more equitable society. The Infosys Foundation, under leadership has a short span of 10 years, has achieved a tremendous name for charitable activities in field of education, art, health, and rural development. The huge accommodation facility called Dharmashala has for the relative of poor patients suffering from cancer in Kidwai Memorial Hospital in Bangalore, Super Speciality Hospital in Pune, Leprosy Rehabilitation Center in Gulbarga, Cholera Hospital in Orissa, and several other states in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Punjab. As a testimony for health concern and for needy people. Education has been a passion for her, and she leaves no stone unturned in her efforts to take education to remote villages of India. She has established more than 10,000 libraries in school of Karnataka under scheme of library for every school to promote a reading habit and spread a knowledge among the students of rural schools. To increase the computer literacy among the children, she has donated computers to several schools in a rural sector. Foundation has given a scholarship to the needy children, poor families, and pursue the higher education and their dreams. Mrs. SudhaMurthy, accomplished writer in Kannada and English with several short novels, short story collections, travelogues, technical books, and collection of real-life experience to her credit. Her English books, Wise and Otherwise, and How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories, have been received overwhelming responses from English readers, especially the kids. She has been popular columnist in several English and Kannada publications. Her multifaceted personality is further illustrated by her appearance in Kannada TV serial, Preeti Illada Mele, and her radio shows which she has narrated her favorite stories to kids. Recognizing her contribution to the social service, Government of India awarded Padma Shri in 2006. Several international and national level awards have been given to her in recognition of her service to society. Some of them are Karnataka Rajyotsava Award for 2000, Computer World Award for 2001, the Economics Times Award, just to name the few. Many awards have come her on way for her contribution in the field of literature. She says her literary works has yielded some of the memorable moments to her life. And she quotes an incident, the bridegroom accepting a vitiligo affected girl as his bride after reading her novel about a girl affected by vitiligo. Sudhaka, she is fondly known in Kannada, has made huge impact on a life of several people around her, brought hope to and smile to many faces in rural India. One of the most amazing qualities of her is her simplicity. Even when her family happens to be one of the wealthiest Indians. We were proud to have her here, Madam. The Kuwait Kannada Koota, on behalf of all Indians, pray God to enable you serve humanity for many years to come. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Prashant. May I now request Mrs. Ganapati and Mrs. Vasanti Shetty to the stage for felicitating Dr. Mrs. Murthy. Now the President will present a token gesture from Kuwait Kannada Koota to Akshay Patra Foundation through Mrs. Murthy. I kindly request His Excellency Mr. Ganapati to present the memento and honor Mrs. Murthy. It is now time for something that all of us have been eagerly waiting for. And yes, may I have the pleasure to request the chief guest, Dr. Mrs. SudhaMurthy, to kindly address the gathering, please.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಹೋಲಿ ಮುಬಾರಕ್. Assalamu alaikum. I know a little bit of Urdu because my great-grandfather was the Diwan to a Sultan. I was talking to Sudhakar Shetty. I asked him how much time I'm supposed to speak because I'm teacher by profession and married to a teacher's family. My father-in-law was a school teacher, granddaughter of another school teacher, a daughter of a professor, a sister of another professor. Teaching is in my blood. Business is an hobby. I think I excelled in hobby than my profession. And when I start speaking, immediately my mind transforms that you're all my students. And until the next bell rings, which is after 45 minutes, I cannot stop it. So my secretary timed it 40 to 45 minutes, which is a normal lecture hour at Bangalore Christ College. I was wondering, actually, I get touched by the affection you show to me. And I really wonder, what have I done anything special? That reminds me of a joke, that it was a winter, cold winter in Niagara Falls. And there was everybody went to see, Niagara was frozen. There was a child which slipped and fell in the Niagara Falls. Many of you may know this joke. There was a man in a very good new suit, and he jumped and rescued the child. When he came back, everyone congratulated and said, "Oh, you are such a philanthropist, such a brave person. You really require all the claps." He said, "That we'll talk it about later, who pushed me in first." So am I suppose. The kind of affection people show to me, And particularly they read my biodata, I keep my ears off. Let them talk anything which I'm not that. In Marathi, to me namets. I'm not the same person. It always reminds me of the parting words of J.R.D. Tata. Dr. Ali, it is not Ratan Tata, it was J.R.D. Tata. There's a lot of email circulation on internet, people say, but I don't read. Actually, I don't use internet as much as you people require. When I decided to quit telco with a heavy heart, I was coming down from Bombay House steps, I met J.R.D. It was the last time I met him alive. I did not know that. He said, Kulkarni, it seems you are leaving telco. That's the way he used to call me always. Though I was married, he always remembered me, my maiden name, maybe because of the postcard episode. He said, why? I told, sir, my husband is starting an adventure called Infosys. Because it's really an adventure. We did not know where we were going. Destination was not known. Terrain was not known. Territory was not known. And total an adventure, a couple coming from a middle class teacher's family, getting into the area of business adventure. He said, tell me when you make a lot of money, what you will do. Actually, at that time, my aim in life, probably even today I enjoy that, to have a 2-bedroom house and a scooter. That was my ultimate thing in life. So in that case, he's asking me, what happens, Kulkarni, when you make a lot of money? This lot of money is a very difficult concept. Very difficult concept. If I would have spoken today only in Kannada, I would have given one vachana, which was written in the 12th century, what it means a lot. When you do not have food, it's originally in Kannada, the translation is not 100%, maybe 50%. When you do not have food, you think of food, you get food, then you think of clothing. When you say enough of clothing, then you think of a wife. It's written with respect to man, because of male-dominating society, everything should be with respect to man only. So, when you think of wife, then you think of children. Then you think of children, then that's a perennial, their future, their wives, their children, etc. It goes on. In life, the word enough or more, extra, is very, very delicate word. When J.R.D. asked me, when you make more money or enough money, what you will do? I said, sir, I don't think I will be able to make both ends meet. It's more difficult. Forget about enough money. He said, I want to tell you something. In life, never start an adventure with diffidence. Start with the confidence that I will make it. And that I will make it always makes it. And today, whatever I am, it's because I believed in myself. Let 10,000 people say it is wrong. If it is legally, ethically right, not 10,000 people say you should not hit somebody. If it is legally, ethically right, then you should listen to your conscience and you must work it out. I always listen to my conscience, not the external pressures. Many, people who are successful, my students ask me, ma'am, when you are successful, probably always you had plus always on your side. That is not true. Probably we had many minuses in our side, many downfalls, many failures. But every failure I try to convert into positive note. Everything you look in a different way. Say, maybe this time I have failed. So what? I have lost the battle, but I will win the war. Always remember, there's a war ahead. You might have lost one battle. I'm sure fellow Kuwaiti citizens will definitely understand this feeling. They have lost, but they won it ultimately. Unless you believe within yourself. Yes, sir? Someone said something? No. You must start with with the confidence is the main motto which I have always carried in life, which has always helped me in life. About 7-8 years back, when my face was not well known, actually, if your face is not well known, you have a great advantage. You don't understand when you are not well known. You have so much freedom actually about yourself. I went to a music concert and I was sitting at the back. 2 women were sitting in front and they were discussing. They were discussing about charity, philanthropy, and teaching, etc. One lady was telling to another, my daughter is really very bad in everything. I don't know what to do with her. The other lady gave her a suggestion, make her philanthropist. The first lady said, I wanted to put her to social work, but she seems to be not good in it. She said, no, don't worry. There's a lady by the name SudhaMurthy, absolutely no talent, no brain. Fair enough. That is, let her define me actually. No brain, no talent. Husband has made money. She writes the check. She's very well known. When she can do it, anybody can do it. I was not upset. I was telling our ambassador, Mr. Ganpati, about that. Initially, when you are young, you get upset when people criticize you. After some time, actually, you make fun of yourself only. It doesn't matter. So what? In this world, everybody need not say you are great. And even though they say you are great, you are not. When everyone says you are not great, still you are not. What you are is what you are. I felt very nice about it. Actually, I don't have upper portion, so I am lightweight person. No talent, so I don't have to worry that I'm talented or I should feel, I have talent, I'm not utilizing. When there's no talent, I don't have to utilize. However, being a woman, being a teacher, being an engineer, because engineers are extremely curious people. Women are curious, teachers are curious. So all 3 combinations I have. I tapped their back. Do you know SudhaMurthy? They looked at me. They said, yes, of course we know her. I said, when did you meet her last? Today morning. I said, I'm SudhaMurthy. She said, oh, you have changed so much in the afternoon. I told them, you can criticize or describe the way you want, describe about me. I'm not worried. But what I'm worried is the way you described philanthropy. Philanthropy is not giving away money. It's much more than that. How Mr. Murthy runs Infosys Technologies, I have to run our foundation probably much more care, because in Infosys Technology, there is a measurement. Your $1 billion to $2 billion you will become, that you have doubled your revenues. You have a measurement index. You have 25,000 employees, now you have 55,000 employees. Your sales have grown. There is a digital way to measure your success. Whereas in our foundation, it's a non-linear. There is no way I can measure. How will I measure the smiles on the destitute's face? You tell me, bigger smile is 10, smaller smile is 5. It is not that way. How will I measure the pleasure when sex workers leave their job and rehabilitate? How do I measure when the children of the less privileged people get into the mainstream, the kind of happiness their parents get? In our work, it is difficult to measure the rate of success. Still, you have to do that work. In our work, the worst thing is somebody comes and sits in front of you and tells the following difficulties. How do you know the person tells you the truth or false? Where do you get the most compassionate people who really feel we have to live for others? You have to live for others and do this job. Where will I find? What kind of salary can I give? Can salary bring that compassion within themselves? It cannot bring. Any amount of stock at Infosys I hold cannot bring compassion within me. It can make me rich. It can make me rich, but it cannot bring compassion within me. Any amount of ornament I can wear, but The love for others cannot be generated with that. Any amount of classes I take and the best of the universities, any sadhu, sannyasis, peer, dargah, church I go, but nothing can kindle or make your heart warm, soft, unless you want it, unless you care for others. That cannot be bought in the market. That cannot be inherited. That has to be experienced and vibrate with the joys and sorrows of the less privileged. And you have to understand and digest in your heart that one, not in your stomach, in your heart, and then vibrate with your brain. Then only you can do philanthropy. With money alone, you cannot do. I was touched when you talked, Mr. Mohammed, that about your mother in 1986. She started education when the rest did not even were aware. That shows the pioneer path, the path so that others can go into that. That requires a special way of thinking, which is not easy. The land where you travel is not an easy one because there are constant people talking, constant hardships, and people want to take advantage of the situation. But still, you should remember, ultimately you are doing it not to satisfy others, to satisfy yourself, because little bit philosophically when you think, why we should be born in certain families? Is it our choice? I have to be born in this family, get this kind of a money? It is not our choice. It is a God's decision. There are people who are born in the less privileged area. Was it their choice? No. It was also a God's decision. But you should also remember, it is also a God's decision when you have money, when you have more privilege, you have duty towards society. When you get privilege, you should not think, because I'm intelligent, I got privilege. Because I worked hard, I got all this wealth, so I really own it. Legally, I may own it. Legally, I may own it. But morally, the moment you get a privilege, you have a duty. You cannot separate privilege and duty. They are inseparable, like you and your shadow. All these people who are sitting here, you are all privileged people. Please remember, you have a duty towards society. It is inseparable. I can go on telling you many stories. My students in Christ College have been extremely successful because they are bright, not because I'm their teacher, because they are very bright. After 10 years, I meet them. Everyone holds their own company more or less. I ask them, I taught you software engineering, I taught you C++, computer programming, system analysis. Tell me, what subject do you remember in your 10 years span of your own company? Invariably, all my students tell, Madam, we don't remember anything what you have taught. We remember your stories. Your stories, because stories can hold in your mind forever. In our college, we always have a class day, the last day of the lecture class, we'll say goodbye. We call all students and go on telling them, we tell them how they should behave in life. It's like a moral science class, okay? But I want to tell them a story before they go. This happened about 12 years back. There was in my class, there was a very bright student who got a very good job at Microsoft, Washington, Seattle. He was very happy. And the last class, I told a small story to everybody. I think many people know what is that makes winning point when there are two people who are equal. I told a Jataka story. There were two kings, they were equal in everything. In terms of the wealth, in terms of the wives, in terms of the children, everywhere they were equal. What made the other king different is a very small incident. He says, when my subjects make mistake, I win them with love. The other one said, when they mistake, I punish them, and with the scare of the fear, they will improve. So I told them important is, in life, you have to win people with love, not with fear. Fear is like electromagnet. As soon as the current goes away, the magnet becomes an iron piece. My student came back and told me, Madam, I don't agree with you, because in life, to be successful, you require a different component. You are telling us, be kind to others, be nice to others, develop an emotional quotient, develop a relationship. All these things, what you talk, is only ideal way of talking. In real life, we require to be ambitious, to be cutthroat, to be merciless, and somehow to reach at the top. You don't have to be emotional, because emotion brings your efficiency down. I said, it's really not that way, but he said, no. I told, what is your age? 23. At 23, we will talk like this. I said, fair enough, no problem. You don't know, as a teacher, you don't get upset about all these things. I felt fine, and I did not meet him for 12 years. After 12 years, one day he called me up and he said, do you remember, I'm batch of 93. And normally I remember my student's name, particularly exceptional, I remember more. He said, I'm so and so. I said, I remember you went to Seattle, Washington. Same person. He said, yes. He said, I want to meet you. I said, fair enough, come to my office. He came to my office. I said, how is Washington? He told, no, I am not in Seattle. As Microsoft, I have left. In software job, nobody stays more than 3 years. There is no loyalty like that. We have to accept. Actually, if somebody stays 5 years, you should worry why he's staying 5 years. Okay. He said, I started my own company in Singapore. And he said, I'm doing exceedingly well. I bought 2 houses in Delhi, 1 house in Bombay. There's an index of wealth, probably. Okay. Wherever he bought everything. I said, I did not talk. As a teacher, you tend to talk more. I said, okay, let me be. Once in a while, I don't like to talk. Let me listen to him. He said, I went here, here, and here. I said, no, are you coming from Singapore? He said, no, I'm coming from Somalia. I told Infosys Technology is famous to sell their software nook and corner of the world, I am aware. But we have not gone up to Somalia. You are better than us. Tell me, what is that which made you to go to Somalia, and what software you could sell? He said, no, ma'am, I went there to do social work. I said, wait a minute, because as a teacher, I got a chance to talk now. I said, wait a minute. You are the one who told me in life, compassion, kindness, care for others are not important. To be successful in life, merciless, efficient, no emotion, highly competitive nature is important. And why are you going to Somalia? It doesn't fit in the jigsaw puzzle. He said, yes, madam. 10 years after I left my college, I followed the same principle. Whenever I want to talk to somebody, there should be an advantage with that person. If I want to have a dinner with someone, I should get some advantage. Every relationship on the advantage note. I did very well in life because every second I utilized for that. I said, then you should be very happy because you knew your goal, you knew your method as well. He said, no, madam, it affected my personal life. I said, what happened? My wife started distancing herself. I have only one daughter. She talks to me whenever she wants something from me. The worst thing for parents, that your children treat you as a commodity or a treasury or a bank. That's the worst thing a parents can feel. Parents always love to give it to their children because they live for children ultimately. But in return, they expect affection, a warm hug, and a few kind words because we are all growing old. We require an emotional support, not economic support in our generation because we make our reasonable money until we retire. But a kind words we require. And he said, 10 years, my daughter who is 10 years old plays this game with me and I became a role model to her. And it was the worst thing that can happen to the non-emotional person. I remembered, now what your words, in life you should have all these components which makes you a perfect person or near perfect person. and I became good in only certain aspects of life, I never became a balanced person. I wanted to become emotional, but I could not, because every day what you do, it becomes your habit. When it becomes habit, you live, that becomes your personality. My personality became like this, and I wanted to be caring for others, which was not possible. I went to a psychiatrist. They told me, you should have a kind heart. I did not know how to have a kind heart. And there are no classes for to be kind heart, actually. He said, someone suggested, you go to Somalia, work for the poor people, then you understand. I said, who paid? He said, I paid my fare plus extra money to work in an orphanage so that I should become compassionate. Madam, tell me, where did I go wrong? I told, it is not like this. Everybody cannot become Bhagavan Buddha, all the time compassionate, all the time caring, which is possible with very few people. Like Jesus Christ, it was possible. Bhagavan Buddha, it was possible. Great yogis, it was possible. But we are normal human being in a normal world. When you have any Indian dinner, that's the best way you look at it. You eat Indian dinner, you have 10 katoris, one dal, one sabji, one salad, one sweet, one pongal, one different type. All together makes a meal. In life, when you develop your personality, you should have the right ingredients. To be successful, to be compassionate, to care for others, to have emotion, to help others, to be patriotic, to be professional, all. You cannot do it in one day. You have to develop over a period of time. You can't say, I will be I will do money all the time. At 60, I will become a philanthropist. It is not possible because your personality will be different. What work you do makes your personality. Try to develop all these qualities when you are young. And that's what I tell my students in college. Rule people with love. That develop this quality for care for others, not somebody fears you and listens to you. And it was a classic example where people, youngsters, go only after power, after money, and how it affects their personal life. So I always tell the next generation people, it is nice to be ambitious. I don't say you should not be. It is nice to earn money legally, ethically. Without money, so much money, I would not have done so much of charity. Money is one of the important components, but not all the components, one of the components. But at the same time, do not lose your human touch. If you lose, there is no difference between you and a robot. There is no difference. You have to develop this quality within you. I want to tell you an incident which makes Indians proud. 30 years back, I went to USA first time, and my husband, Mr. Murthy, was waiting for me outside the airport. He said, immigration will take 15 minutes and you will come out. Immigration officer looked at me, and I always wear a sari, and he said, are you Indian? It's obviously I was Indian. He said, let me talk to you. I was the only person who was interviewed for an hour. Are you a daughter of a Maharaja? I said, no. Do you own an elephant? I said, no. Elephant is so expensive to own. Maybe I could be a white elephant to my husband. That is, I do not know. I always tell, whenever I give a lecture with Mr. Murthy, Murthy talks first, how to create wealth, etc. After that, I talk how to spend that wealth. I said, creating wealth, you have many avenues. Spending, there are not many avenues, so let me tell that one. So he said, do you have many snakes in your house? I said, I'm damn scared of snakes. Once in a while I see, whenever that snake charmer brings it, that is too at a distance. He said, how long you will be here? I said, I will be here maybe 2 to 3 months. He said, but your ticket shows that you are traveling many places. I told I have many cousins in USA. Are you sure you are going back? Show me the return ticket. I showed him the return ticket. What is your husband's salary? At that time in 79, my husband's salary was $300. Okay. I told him because I don't like to hide anything, and there's nothing to hide. He was not convinced that I'm a proper visitor to USA. He felt dal mein kala hai. Why this lady has come for 3 months, touring so much? He said, are you sure you will not stay more than 3 months? I said, I'm sure because I have a job at Telco, I have to go back. He said, okay, looking at your face, I feel you may be genuine. However, I'll give visa only for 8 weeks. He gave me 8 weeks and after 1 hour interview. I was very upset because I wanted to stay there 3 months. I got only 3 months leave. Anyway, this is the story in 1978-79. Recently, I was in Colombia to deliver a lecture. I go to Colombia and the foreign minister tells the audience, India has turned around. We must learn from India how good we can progress in a right direction. I thought it was one of the normal talks, so I did not worry about it. When you are successful, everybody talks that one. I said, okay. The funny thing is I come to Miami, and in my plane in Miami, there was not a single Indian. I can tell you where you can see Indians. Frankfurt airport is like Majestic bus stand in Bangalore. You can see 50% Indians at least, that whole area, transit passengers. London, I feel I am in Bombay, cleaner Bombay, I feel. Okay, so many Indians actually. When you go to London, you don't have to carry any food. Every alternate shop is an Indian shop. But Colombia, Miami, you don't see many Indians. It is not the Indian territory. I get down there, I go to the visa counter. There's an immigrant officer. I said, I knew the questions. Are you sure you're not going to stay? All those things. But I had it by this time. So before he will ask, I said, I'm coming here. I'm delivering a lecture at Stanford on the corporate philanthropy. Before he could ask, only the teacher, you talk more. And then I want to save time because I want to get out of the airport. I said, I've come here. I want 3 days visa. I want 3 days visa. He said, wait a minute, lady. I want to talk to you. You are doing my job. Okay. Many times I think as a teacher, we do others' job. Okay. He said, are you an Indian? I said, of course, you're wearing my sari shows I am Indian. He says, you're from which place? I said, you may not know, there's a clause at Bangalore. He said, don't say you may not know, he told me. He was a young boy, 25, 26 years. I know a lot about India. Immediately my writer mind, I have many compartments in my mind as a teacher, as a writer, as a philanthropist. I keep my compartments. Suddenly that compartment opened up. As a writer, let me talk to him. He looks at me and says, I know so much about India. You have the best doctors. Indian doctors are extremely compassionate. And we love Indian doctors. This compliment I've heard many times, many places. I was in Zimbabwe. I was in Zimbabwe, Victoria Falls. I went to Victoria Falls. I had a guide by the name Leo, who is a native of the place. Leo comes with me to show and talk about Zimbabwe and all. And I asked him, Victoria, you can see you don't require a guide for that. I want to talk to people. I said, Leo, do you know Indians? He said, yeah, there are Gujaratis are there. He was talking about Indians there. I said, whom do you like more? He said, Indian doctors, ma'am. I said, why? He said, I go to Indian doctors. I'm a poor man. Sometimes I don't have money. And I go to private doctors. It's not a government doctor. I tell them, I don't have money. Whenever I have, I'll come and give you. They will say, that's okay, I will treat you. Ma'am, I'm very proud about your Indian doctors. I felt very nice. More than the joy I got when I saw Victoria Falls. Our people leave their country, go there, stay there, work there, and get a name. They are very compassionate people. So this boy who was in the immigration told me, your Indian doctors are very great. Then I said, let me talk to him more. Then he said, I like your Bollywood songs. Thanks to Indian film industry, any amount of cultural exchange. Mr. Sudhakar Shetty, I have crossed my time. The next period I think I'm getting into. Okay. I will take another 5 minutes. Okay, another 5 minutes. Any amount of cultural delegation.
Excuse me, madam, you can go on. That is what the
But
crowd wants.
no. I'm aware, I know how people feel. 45 minutes they will listen, then the rest they will block their ears. Any amount of cultural delegation you send, Bollywood dances, Bollywood music can bind every human being on the earth. That's a fact. Let us accept the fact with grace. I was in Berlin, Meera Shankar is our ambassador there. I asked me, one day I put the TV on, I saw Mohabbate in German language. I said, Meera, tell me what is the craze in Berlin? She says, Indian movies dubbed in German language and Bollywood dances. So this boy says, Bollywood songs are great. He said, Indian kebabs are delicious. I have not tasted, but I'm sure when everyone talks, it could be the great. And then, more important than, and not the least, but not though it was last, he said, Indian people, he said, you have many languages in many religions in your country. He said, but irrespective of that, Indian people are very honest, peace-loving, very good in their work. We want to have them all the time. I'm sure, country of Kuwait, everyone feels about us the same, the best example, all of you are here. I'm sure, your behavior has brought so much proud to all fellow human beings, Indians at home. I can sit at India in air-conditioned room and talk about, we are great, we have history of 5,000 years, Mohenjo-daro, we have Vedas which are 4,000 years old. We have forts and Taj Mahal. We have Ajanta and Gol Gumbaz. We may talk anything, but in reality, you people, you are the one, the cultural ambassador, behavioral ambassador. You have reflected and shown to the world how Indians are peace-loving, in harmony, working very hard, indispensable. You are indispensable. Many countries depend on us because you are hardworking, and whosoever you have served with loyalty and love and affection, not for the sake of money, love and affection. My personal salute to all of you. My biodata, people go on reading many things. I know I have done this, I have done that, etc. But one thing they don't read, what I cannot do. I cannot stay in any other country more than a week. I just cannot stay. Maybe everybody has their soft spot, weakness. My weakness is I cannot stay in any other country. I feel so homesick immediately. I was in Boston, it was snowing, and I felt I have never seen snow. I feel extremely uncomfortable. In South India, we don't even use a cardigan and forget about snow. I said, this is not the environment I grew up. I should immediately rush back to India. The moment I land up there, I first booked my return ticket, whereas you people have left your country, came here, made this home, and also served this country, and also hold to your roots, the way they have danced, the way you people have come, the way you celebrate the festivals. You are the best of the both worlds. I am the best of only one world. I am not best of the both worlds. All of you know the story of Krishna. Krishna was born to Devaki. He was brought up by Yashoda. But today when we call Krishna, we also call Krishna Devaki Nandanaha, Yashoda Putraha. Krishna has both names. So are you. You are Indian, but you are also a Kuwaitian. You belong to both worlds, and best of the both cultures you have inherited. It is not an easy job. It is just not possible for everybody. I want to conclude this session. First, let me thank all of you. you have come on a Friday holiday. I was wondering who will come. I was wondering whether I would have come or not. Maybe I would have come to know what Mrs. Murthy will talk. Maybe that's the only thing. But you have come, and after 10 minutes I would have left the hall. Okay, you are not left. Thank you for coming on a holiday, listening attentively, showing me affection much more than I really deserve. And with children, it is not easy. It is not easy. You know, you people have done so much to call me. It's a felicitation is not with I was telling Shetty, it's not a shawl or I don't need all. You have called me itself is an honor to me. And I will promise, I told Mr. Shetty, you hold maybe once in 2 years or 3 years a Kannada Sammelana calling all the Gulf Kannada people in one place, and I'll promise you I'll bring Narayan Murthy. It is not that Narayan Murthy requires my visa permission, but it is difficult to coordinate because we both of us travel. And Mr. Murthy will definitely speak in English, and I will do that time my thing in Kannada. I would have loved to speak in Kannada, but looking at today's August gathering, I said I should be fair to everybody. Let me speak to a language which is not in our country, but it has become our own language now. I want to conclude a small thing. My grandfather used to tell me, if God comes and asks you, what do you want? As a girl, as a young girl, I used to tell, there should not be thorns in the world, because in a village, thorns was a problem. You always used to have thorns get into your feet, then you have to remove it, and my father would put a plaster on that. My greatest desire when I was a kid was there should not be any thorns in the whole world. Thorn-free world, I used to ask. In a way, today, at the age of 56, I ask the same thing. I ask the same thing which my ancestors asked in a very poetical way. Natvaham kamaye rajyam, na swargam na punarbhavam, kamaye dukkhataptanam, praninam artinashanam. He says, our ancestors said this one. If at all God asks me, what do you want in this life? First of all, he won't ask at all. That's okay, in case he asks. What do you want in this life, next life? This life, he has given whatever he has given. I do not want kingdom. That is, olden days, in Ramayana it comes. I don't want to be born I don't want to have kingdom, or I don't want to have wealth. I don't want Swarga or the heaven. I don't want anything. Then what do you want? If at all you want to give me these healthy, strong hands so that I can wipe the tears of others. Thank you very much. Namaskara. Shukriya. Khuda Hafiz.
Thank you, Mrs. SudhaMurthy, for that absolutely inspirational speech. Thank you very much. We now have a question and answer session.
I request everyone should answer only one question, not more. Don't combine and make it and a combination. One question.
Good afternoon and good morning to everybody here. Madam, we're very honored to have you here, and I just have a very simple question.
I would like to know your name, please.
My name is Sanjeev. I'm from South India, from Kerala. I've been in Kuwait for the last 6 years.
Okay, tell me.
The question is, to all the women here in Kuwait, if you have one message to inspire them and motivate them to achieve at least a modicum of what you have achieved over the last 56 years, what would that message be?
Please sit down, please. Being a teacher, I'm so much used to this particular way of talking, okay? First of all, for so many women, only one answer I should give, okay? Second thing, this question is asked by a man to answer. Women could have asked that one. You are taking it, okay. However, on a lighter note. Men in this hall, I do not know, they may be 50% or 40% or 60%, I do not know. Men in this hall should excuse me if I make some comments. Women, my sisters here, I want to tell you a secret. Always men think, in any society, men think they are very powerful. Actually, they are not. It is the woman who is more powerful. Because by birth, it is a stronger gender. She is a better manager. She is a mother, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Imagine the kind of boss, subordinate conditions. Sister, and many roles she plays. And physically she also undergoes many difficulties like a labor. That makes her very mature in a very young age. You see, 20 years boy and 20 years girl you can make out. But many women think, most women think they don't have power. They think they don't have potential. 10 years back, I had been to zoo. I saw one baby elephant, 10 months old. The elephant was tied to a tree with iron, kind of a rope. Something was there on his feet. Actually, it was a chain, similar kind of a chain. It was tied. Elephant's one leg was tied to a tree. And I said, anyway, elephant is tied with the iron chain. Baby elephant. I just went and touched the trunk of that baby elephant. He was very upset. He just took his trunk and pushed me. I went and fell down 20 feet. We women are like that. Elephant is not aware its potential. He was not aware his potential. If he wanted just shake that leg, the tree would have been uprooted. But it was in that Brahma or in that imagination or an illusion that I have been tied with an iron chain. So I am in the cage. I can't go anywhere. But the kind of potential an elephant has is not aware. So are women. We have tremendous potential. We don't harness it. We waste at times on many silly things like unnecessary comparisons, unnecessary competitions, than improving ourselves. It doesn't matter what my neighbor buys, but have I improved what I am today, what I was last month? You must compete within yourself and keep your mind open, accept your faults, and go on improving within yourself. Is the greatest way you can use your potential and go to any height, which we live in a Brahma. Oh, I'm not a technical person, I'm a housewife, I can't do, I get bored, somehow I'm not able to do. These are the things which are illusions, but the kind of potential we have, we never ever harness it. Please harness your potential, knowing your negative points.
Mrs. Murthy, namaskara. Here, madam, this side. I'm Dr. Bharti, I'm from Bangalore. What does a not very rich lady doctor do as try to do some philanthropy? What is your advice?
I told you in philanthropy, money is only one of the component, not always. There are many, many ways all of us can do philanthropy. The word philanthropy is sharing actually. You can share wealth, you can share experience, you can share whatever you have. You can also listen to someone else's difficulties. I always tell in ladies club, that's the best place where you can do philanthropy because every person has some difficulties. Nobody's difficulties, nobody can solve. You have to solve your own difficulties. But at times you feel like pouring it out, your grief to somebody, your grief to someone. And that time you should remember, God has given us ears, not only to wear diamond and pearl earrings, but He has given us ears to listen to somebody's difficulties without making any judgmental decisions on their life. And also, we should pray God, give me that strength or make my tongue that weak not to tell their secret to others. Okay. Tell me.
Good morning, Mrs. Murthy. Here. My name is Denzel Lisa, and there's too much light on my face. I'm from Mangalore, Karnataka, and I'm from also another association in Kuwait, Saka Kuwait. We're an alumni association. Today your speech was on philanthropy in corporate world, and there's a buzzword going around in the business circles like corporate social responsibility. I would like to know your opinion, since you related the story of your student and how he thought of taking advantage of everybody. Do the corporates today, under the banner of corporate social responsibility, try to take advantage of this goodwill by doing such philanthropical work? Or is it, what's your take on it?
Actually, it depends on the company. For example, I can talk about with respect to Infosys only because my experience is limited to Infosys. I cannot talk about some other company where I have not worked nor I am associated. At Infosys Foundation, we get money from Infosys Technologies, and we are 3 trustees. We have 100% free hand the way we feel how to dispose that amount for what projects we want. We have always do the project which are the people who are recipient are not related to Infosys. That is the way I believe. If I do any work, in return it helps Infosys, I will not do that. Our motto is, help people, without your help they will perish. I do not want to bring business in philanthropy because you do your business, you earn your money legally, ethically, but when it comes to philanthropy, it has to be run on the basis of compassion, not on the basis of more profit. That is the way we have followed, and it's true only with respect to our own company. The rest I do not know.
Dr. SudhaMurthy, my name is Alexander Fernandez.
I met you before this.
Yes.
Yeah, Goa.
I'm from Goa.
Yeah.
Yes, we have great admiration for your
Cut it off. Next.
Infosys.
Fine, next.
Yes, Infosys Foundation, and there is an extreme need of this type of foundation in our place in Goa. We have already formed a trust to carry on with this activity. We have already bought land, and what we want is expertise from Infosys Foundation to carry on this task, because I feel your foundation has no existence in Goa. So can you just help us with your expertise and with your contribution? Thank you very much.
Number one is this is a forum where I will answer questions which are related probably to the what talk I have given. If you want any help or anything, please send an email foundation@infosys.com, and that our office will reply whether it suits or not. Second thing is Infosys has a policy wherever we have a development center, only in that state we have philanthropic activity. For example, we work in Karnataka, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Orissa because we have a development center there. Whereas in Goa, we do not have, so we do not work. They are bound by the Infosys technology rules.
There is a lot of homework, lot of studies, too many things to know. We have to score more than 90% in all tests to get into good colleges. On top of that, we have to have general knowledge, participate in cultural activities or extracurricular activities. How can we time for all these, auntie? Parents always want us to do everything and score good marks too in tests.
Yeah? Okay.
Abhijit Mallor.
Actually, I really feel bad for these boys and girls of the next generation because definitely you have a lot more pressure than us. Someone asked me, what is the reason, what is the secret, how you got a first rank? I said, my parents never bothered to know what class I'm studying, I think. Okay. Our expectation of our parents was very minimal. My father told me, don't fail in engineering college because you are the only girl, people will laugh at you. Passing was my father's expectation. I do agree because of the information boom, internet, there is a lot more pressure. I request more than children, parents, We are under the impression the more we pressurize, the better they do. It's an inverse way. The more we pressurize, the less they do. as much as possible, be compassionate with them, try to give them some allowance to, spend the time they want. Some time for internet, some for the video game, Nintendo should give some time. But again, with limited time, otherwise they'll get glued to that. Try to have a dialogue with children, I always prefer to have dialogue with my students also, with my children also. As much as possible, come to their level, have dialogue. Try to understand their difficulties. The more you pressurize, less they perform.
Madam, my name is Manjunath. Which of the people need help, like handicap or an orphanage, and why?
Which are the people?
Need help.
Help. Everybody requires. And why only handicap?
Or an orphanage, and why?
No, there is nothing like, please sit down. It is not like orphanage requires help, handicap doesn't require, AIDS requires help, environment does not. It's really not true. Everybody requires help in a different way. The person who is not handicapped, he says, to be orphan is better, at least you are normal. Person who is an orphan feels, to be handicapped is better, at least you have parents. Please do not look in somebody's angle, other difficulties are less. Everybody has their own difficulties. You have to make your policies. We have made some policies. We will do only area, because there is enormous amount of difficulties are there. So we choose X, Y, Z, A, B, C is our area of work. It does not mean M, N, O, P, Q are not good. We are physically not possible. We are people with limited resource and with limited energy. So we will not be able to cover all. So we make some line where we will work here, where we will not work here.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm also from the teaching fraternity. And my question is in line with what the boy Abhijit had given you. I want you to give some tips to the youngsters about time management.
I should give? Oh,
yes.
I thought you will give. Being a teacher, I thought you will give and let me listen and improve. All children should listen this one, When I tell my children, I always say, you are a teacher even at home, okay? If your mother is a teacher, you had it, because you have to listen to teacher in the school and listen to her also at home. Plus mother, you have to listen double. There is one thing in the world which God has rationed, irrespective of gender, beauty, money, health, position, status, that is time. Just because someone is rich, he doesn't get 48 hours. Everybody gets 24 hours. God is very intelligent. He has rationed it. Everyone gets 24 hours. The way you spend depends on you. You can play Nintendo 24 hours. You can all the time sit and read. You can see on internet. Kindly think money is like water in Dubai, in Kuwait. Kuwait water is more expensive, no? Kindly consider time as money, kindly time as a resource. And put a timetable. Actually, having a timetable, writing a diary helps a lot. When you are children, you should start doing that. But my children don't do that. That I agree. Okay, I used to put timetable and I only will follow. They won't follow. But when the responsibility came, they went back to the timetable. You should start, parents should start writing timetable. They won't follow. You should not get upset. But when they grow big, that concept remains with them. And then, after some age, they follow that. You should time it. I will play an hour. I will on Saturday, Sunday, or here Friday, Saturday, I will spend 1 hour extra reading. Reading is a must for children. I consider reading is a must. It is a great companion to children. Most of us have only 1 or 2 children nowadays. It is not like a joint family. Children get bored very fast. There is a lot of luxury around. And the best way to occupy children is only through reading. Reading is the greatest, books are greatest companions in life. You never get bored if you have a habit of reading. Any amount of computer cannot substitute to a book. Please understand. Reading doesn't require electricity. Reading does not require a power cut. You can sleep and read. You can carry on the aircraft and read. You have to read. Reading is a forever companion in life. And that you can't start at 50. You have to start at 10. Read good books. Allocate time for that. Play certain time. Be disciplined. When you are not disciplined, it's very difficult to change later. I think in my book, I had a student by the name Hassan Ali Sharif. I wrote about that late Latif, I think. I wrote about him. Hassan was a very bright student of mine, and I wrote about him. extraordinary bright, never followed a discipline, and later in life he came back and told me, ma'am, I regret. I have never followed the timetable. Now I'm 35, 40, I can't change now. I said, Hassan, there's always a way to change if you want to change. Please remember, put the good habits as early as possible. Have a timetable, follow it, strictly follow it, and then allocate time for everything. I'm sure you can do many more things. That's okay.
I'm SudhaMurthy.
I have always a weak point for women, so any woman says last, I will never say no.
Thank you, ma'am. Born in a Shigao in village in North Karnataka, you have seen rural women since childhood, and you are seeing them those rural areas, several states of India, during your philanthropic work. You also come across some educated women in city. Do you assess the Indian woman's status now as compared to your earlier days in rural areas?
It has changed, tremendously changed. When I was a young kid, I have seen women in rural area so much helpless, less education, less opportunity, and absolutely male-dominating society. Women did not have much say in their families, even choosing their husbands for that matter. Father says he's a good boy, he has to be a good boy. Okay? And there are many stories, and sometimes in those days also Hindi movies, Ek Fool Char Kante, that kind, that woman is a fool. In what way, I do not know, English fool or a Hindi fool. Okay? and there are supporting shlokas, Nasri Swatantra Marhati, all that kind of a stuff. And also film songs, Tere Bina Lage Na Jiya Hamar kind. Okay? And that all made woman a delicate darling to be looked after by her father and her husband and her son. But today the scenario is different. Women are more confident. They are more aggressive. There is always an equal demand in everything. And they are good professionals. In the software industry, there is between 25 to 33% there are women without reservation bill, I'm talking. Okay? In engineering college, there are 40 to 45% girls are there. And in arts college, I think they dominate more than men. In a rank list, you can see 70% are girls. Today's scenario of modern India is only because girls are being educated and they are in the mainstream of our development. Otherwise, it would not have been possible.
Hello. Namaskara. Sudhak avarage. You can't see me. I'm behind the stage actually. And my name is Dr. Vidya. I belong to North Karnataka, your neighbor, Haveri Taluk Namdu, Savunuru. And fortunately, my birthday also falls on 19th of August like yours.
So let me celebrate.
So we have some similarities, right? My question is, we are facing a lot of problem to travel to Bangalore because we don't have a direct flight. For this, and especially women, for this we started our fight and we made an association called as UAKK, which directly links with our fight with the direct flight to Bangalore. But unfortunately, and upgrading of Mangalore airport. But unfortunately, things have not changed much for the Bangalore airport. And some people say, you don't do anything, keep quiet, it will take some time and things will keep rolling. And once Devanali airport comes, things will happen and we'll have a direct flight. And some people say, no, things will not change much unless and until you bribe. I don't know what exactly we should do. We should keep quiet and stop our fight, or we should still continue fighting for it. Thank you.
Vidya, there are certain things one should know. One is, you should know what you can change. You should also know what you cannot change. Okay? The decision of having a direct flight from Kuwait to Bangalore is neither in your hand, definitely not in my hand, I know. Otherwise, why I should travel via Chennai? Okay? These are not a decision because women feel difficult. It is not that. You should understand that certain business decisions are there. Because when there should be a flight from Kuwait to Bangalore, there may be some business dealings will be there. Is it profitable, not profitable? Is Bangalore airport has that capacity to land that many? Rajamurthy and Murli is here. They will know Kuwait Airlines people. So what I'm telling you is, fighting does not mean you always win it. Please don't feel, I fight and I should get it, that if I don't get it, I have lost. You can always ask, appeal, but when business decisions are made, You can only give the input, the decision is not in your hand. You can only give the appeal. You can ask and tell these are the difficulties. But more than that, you cannot do anything. You don't have to keep quiet. You have to tell your earnest opinion. When I wrote to JRD, it is not that I wanted a job. People always make a mistake. They write to me, you wrote a postcard, you got a job. I'll write an e-land, I should get a better job, okay? This is a logic people always put. It is not that I asked JRD that I want a job. I only told there's a gender discrimination and that's not correct. I never ever asked for a job. Actually, it costed me a lot because I was about to go abroad and I have to cancel it. What I'm telling you, Vidya, is your ultimate aim is to get it. Yes, what are the inputs you can do? You write a letter, go to through embassy, go to Praful Patel's Department of Civil Aviation, write to Bangalore people. That is in your hand. You can appeal and you can do. Suppose JRD would not have read my letter and put it in the dustbin. It is not that I did not ask him. I did ask him. He did not respond to that. That's all. The greatness was in JRD answering my letter. If there is someone like JRD's status in India who is so kind and who is so understanding, I'm sure your appeal will go and he will do. But the very fact that you feel it, you can only go up to that level. But having an airline is beyond, your appeal. It's much more business decisions. And you can write your protest, you can tell your difficulties. Do not expect immediate reaction or immediate, because of your letter, nobody will put an airline. It's a fact of life, you should understand. Very much. Thank you once again.
Glimpses of Karnataka. The contribution of Karnataka in the field of art, music, religion, and philosophy are exemplary. Today, it is the attempt by the members of Kuwait Kannada Koota to showcase some of the key cultural events attributed to Karnataka, be it a song, dance, festival, or a costume. Our focus is on the 5 regions of Karnataka: Bayalusime, Malnadu, Karavali, Bengaluru, and Mysuru. Gigi Padagalu from Bayalusime or Dharwad region. Giya Giya Gagiya Giya. Is a unique form of rendering music with a single string instrument popular in North Karnataka. Songs are religious and sometimes in the forms of question and answers that are connected to daily life of the people. Kolata from Malnadu region. The stick dance is vigorous and involves groups of dancers indulging in bending, swaying, and jumping in tune with rhythmic clashes of sticks. Karaga from Bengaluru. It is the most important ethnic festival of Bengaluru city. The roots of Karaga date back over 5 centuries to the Tigala community. The night-long procession gets underway to the throbbing of drums and to the dance rhythm of the Karaga carrier, a male dressed in a female attire and with pots on his head. He is accompanied by 4 Veerakumaras. Yakshagana from Karavali. This dance drama is a perfect blend of dance, music, songs, scholarly dialogues, and colorful costumes. Yakshagana literally means celestial music. It is performed throughout the night, usually after winter crops have been reaped. You would be glad to know that the highlight of the day, Yakshagana, is done by a lady of the Koota. Dasara from Mysuru. No one needs introduction to the famous Mysore Dasara procession. The festival itself commemorates the victory of goddess Chamundi over the demon Mahishasura. On the last day of Dasara, a colorful procession of soldiers in ceremonial dress, cavalry, infantry, capricent elephant, and colorful tableau wind their way from the Mysore Palace gates to Banni Mantap, where the torchlight parade and firework marked the grand finale. Sit back, relax, and revel in the cultural bonanza of Karnataka that is unfolding now. Presented by the children, ladies, and gentlemen of Kuwait, Kannada, Koota.
Hey, hey, Bago. La la ta ta ta, la ta ta ta, la ta ta ta, hey hey. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಲು ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಮೆಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಣ್ಣ ಮೆಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಬದುಕಿದ್ದು ಜಟಕ ಬಂಡಿ, ಇದು ವಿಧಿಯೋಡಿಸುವ ಬಂಡಿ. ಬದುಕಿದ್ದು ಜಟಕ ಬಂಡಿ, ವಿಧಿ ಅಲೆದಾಡಿಸುವ ಬಂಡಿ. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಲು ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಮೆಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಣ್ಣ ಮೆಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಕಾಶಿಲಿ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡು, ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಸುತ್ತಿ ನೋಡು, ಜೋಗದ ಗುಂಡಿ ಒಡೆಯ ನಾನೆಂದು ಕೂಗಿ ಹಾಡು. ಅಜಂತ ಎಲ್ಲೋರನ ಬಾಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬೊಮ್ಮೆ ನೋಡು, ಬಾದಾಮಿ ಐಹೊಳೆಯ ಚಂದನ ತೂಕ ಮಾಡು. ಕಲಿಯೋಕೆ ಕೋಟಿ ಭಾಷೆ, ಆಡೋಕೆ ಒಂದೇ ಭಾಷೆ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಸ್ತೂರಿ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡ ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಮೆಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಣ್ಣ ಮೆಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಬದುಕಿದ್ದು ಜಟಕ ಬಂಡಿ, ಇದು ವಿಧಿಯೋಡಿಸುವ ಬಂಡಿ. ಬದುಕಿದ್ದು ಜಟಕ ಬಂಡಿ, ವಿಧಿ ಗುರಿ ತೋರಿಸುವ ಬಂಡಿ.
Here come the couple from the Dharwad region.
ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನಾ ಮಾಡತೇನಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ತುತಿ. ಕೂಸಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ದಾಸ ಮಾಡತೀನಿ, ಬಂದು ಆಗ ಸಾರಥಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ. ಬಾರೆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನಾ ಮಾಡತೇನಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ತುತಿ. ಬಾರೆ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ನಾ ಮಾಡತೇನಿ ನಿನ್ನ ಸ್ತುತಿ. ಹುಸಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ದಾಸ ಮಾಡತೀನಿ, ಹುಸಾಗಿ ನಿನ್ನ ದಾಸ ಮಾಡತೀನಿ. ಬಂದು ಆಗ ಸಾರಥಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ. ಕಂದನದಿನಿ ಮಂದಮತಿ ನಾನಿನ್ನ ಕಂದನದಿನಿ ಮಂದಮತಿ. ಕಂದನದಿನಿ ಮಂದಮತಿ ನಾನಿನ್ನ ಕಂದನದಿನಿ ಮಂದಮತಿ. ಮಂದಮತಿಯು ನಿನ ಬಂಧಿಸಿ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಬಾರಿ ನವುಲ ಹತ್ತಿ
ಮಂದಮತಿಯು ನಿನಗೊಂದಿಸಿ ಬೇಡುವೆ ಬಾರೆ ನವುಲ ಹತ್ತಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ
Here come the couple from the Malnadu region.
ಮಲ್ಲಯ್ಯನಿರುವುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಗಾವುದ ಮಲ್ಲಯ್ಯನ ಮಡದಿ ಮರುಗಮ್ಮ ಮಲ್ಲಯ್ಯನ ಮಡದಿ ಮರುಗಮ್ಮನಿರುವುದು ಕಲ್ಲು ಮಳಿಗೆ ಕೈಲಾಸ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಮಲ್ಲಯ್ಯ ಶಿವನಿ ಬೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬೆಳಗು ಮತಿ ಘಟ್ಟ ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬೆಳವೋ ಮತಿ ಘಡ್ಡುರ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಯಲಾಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ರು ಪರುಸೆಯ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಒಕ್ಕಾಲ ಹುರಿಗೆಜ್ಜೆ ಒಕ್ಕಾಲ ಕಿರುಗೆಜ್ಜೆ ಚೊಕ್ಕ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಲಿ ಮಕರಂಬ ಚೊಕ್ಕ ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಲಿ ಮಕರಂ ಹಾಕಿದ ಕುದುರೆ ಹೊಕ್ಕಾವು ಮನೋಮಿ ಪೌಜಿಗೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಆನೆ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಅಂಗಳದ ಗೈದವೆ ಜಾಣ ತನಿಖೆ ಹೊರಡಾನೆ ಜಾಣ ತನಿಖೆ ಹೊರಡಾನೆಲೋ ನಿನ್ನ ದೋಣು ಲಲಿಸಿ ಕರೆದಾವೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೊಲೆ ಕೋಲು ಕೊಲನ್ನ ಕೋಲು ಕೋಲೆ.
The couple from Bengaluru. Unity in diversity, couples from Karavali.
ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಳೊಬ್ಬ ಬಂದು ಹೇಳಿದಂತಹ ವಾಕ್ಯವಿದು. ಗಂಧರ್ವಗಿರಿಯ ದೊರೆಯಾದಂತಹ ರಾಜರಾಜೇಂದ್ರ ಭೂಪಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಪುರವನ್ನು ಅತಿಕ್ರಮಿಸಿ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಂತೆ. ಅವನಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕ ಶಾಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ ಅರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅಂತಕನ ಆಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟ್ಟುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲವರನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡು ಕದನ
We now have the Mysore couple followed by the Mysore Dasra.
ನಮ್ಮೂರೇ ನಮಗೆ ಮೇಲು. ಕೈಲಾಸ ಕಂಡ ನಮಗೆ ಕೈಲಾಸ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು, ದಾಸರ ಕಂಡ ನಮಗೆ ವೈಕುಂಠ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು. ಮುಂದಿನ ನನ್ನ ಜನ್ಮ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಟನಂತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಎಂದಿಗೂ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿಯೇ. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಲು ಹುಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಮೆಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಣ್ಣ ಮೆಟ್ಟಬೇಕು. ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಜಟಕ ಬಂಡಿ, ಇದು ವಿಧಿಯೋಡಿಸುವ ಬಂಡಿ. ಬದುಕಿದು ಜಟಕ ಬಂಡಿ, ವಿಧಿ ದಡ ಸೇರಿಸುವ ಬಂಡಿ. ಆ
Now, wasn't that a glimpse of Karnataka in its truest sense? May I request Mr. Virendra Babu, General Secretary, Kuwait Kannada Koota 2007, to propose the vote of thanks, please.
Good afternoon. Salam alaikum. On behalf of Kannada Koota, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Padma Shri Srimati SudhaMurthy, given her precious time and gracious occasion, given us enlightening speech on philanthropy. His Excellency, Mr. Ganapati, the Ambassador of India for Kuwait, who has been tremendous support for us, all the program, various Indians Association, today they are gathered here. Thank you very much, sir. And all our sponsors who contributed a lot of things for this function, I'll thank you very much again, sir. The cultural program is conducted by our Kannada Koota people. All the participants, I'll thank you again. But not the least, the Kuwait Continental Hotel, which they provided at this fencing club, and all the local and international magazines as well as newspaper, they are covering this program. We are thankful to everyone. Okay, but not the least, our Kuwait Kannada Koota members who are gathered yesterday, today, all the days this week, they are totally working for Kannada Koota. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Jai Karnataka Mate, Jai Bharat Mate. Thank you.